Hey guys, welcome back to some more Fire Emblem Heroes content. We're looking at the newest Special Heroes trailer. This dropped just last night. This is obviously the Summer 2 banner. I'm not doing a live reaction this time just because I'm thinking I might want to start moving away from the live reactions because uploading the video the night of is just a lot it's a lot of pressure on my sleep schedule. So, but I'd still like to incorporate the live reaction somehow, maybe in future videos. But anyway, this time I'm just gonna look at it in retrospect. So I was pretty surprised to see Summer Eirika. I really thought we already had like 7 Eirikas, right? If you include Resplendent, I'm pretty sure. And I think our newest one, I guess, was over a year ago, right? Because that would have been young Eirika. I think it's interesting because this artist is Wada Sachiko, who I'm pretty sure they're the ones that did like the key art for Sacred Stones in the first place. And I just thought it was interesting because this art specifically looks more like the art from like the box art of Sacred Stones, for example. I thought that was pretty interesting. So yeah, Summer Eirika is here. She's a green flying tome. So her perf is Carrying Conch, accelerate special trigger. If unit initiates combat or is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants block +5, neutralizes effects that prevent units follow-up attacks, and inflicts special cooldown charge -1 on foe per attack. And also, after combat, if unit attacked, inflicts a guard on target and foes within 2 spaces of target. So she has like a guard smoke, which is kind of surprising just because I would assume that she's like a hyper offense unit, and those units don't typically have like these unique smoke effects, so that's kind of interesting. Her perf is actually really good, just because it has the partial no follow-up. Mages, I guess like non-infantry mages don't usually have access to no follow-up, so any kind of access they can get to that is really good. It also has null guard, right? Or not null guard, it's inflicting guard, which is also helpful for taking on armor units that are charging defensive specials or whatever else. Pollinatal Guard, charging bonfires, whatever it may be. So actually her perf is really good. She has Moonlight Bangle F, which is the same as her Brave perf, but now it's just Canto 1. It's a little interesting because it looks like the special... oh wait, special cooldown charge -X. Yeah, okay. Deals damage equals X% of foe's defense, so it still scales with the foe's defense, which is kind of interesting, even though she's a mage now. So she's going to be really just nuking units that have high defense and low res. The most interesting part of Summer Eirika, though, is this frickin' C-slot skill. I don't know why the Oath 4 skills are just so much better than the other Tier 4 skills. I guess the Smoke 4 skills were pretty good, too. We've gotten Attack Smoke and Speed Smoke 4 so far. But yeah, these Oath 4 skills are nuts. They grant themselves the buffs, as always, Attack Speed +6, and they grant themselves Orders buffs. It's like Legendary Byleth's C-slot skill, except now anybody can have it as an inheritable C-slot skill. This just seems like it's clearly one of the best, if not the best, inheritable, like self-buffing C-slot. There's always attack speed rouse 4 as well, but honestly this is easier to activate because you usually have your units hanging out next to each other anyway, unless you're doing like player phase strats or whatever. But yeah, especially in arena, like your units are usually clumped together anyway, so yeah, her C slot's really good. If I were to pull on this banner, it would be for that. Alright, next up we have Summer Nifl. This was one of the silhouettes that was pretty easy to identify. I'm gonna put her on screen. Her damage dart is uncomfortable. I don't know if I like it. But anyway, I do like her. Oh, she's colorless. I thought she was green or something. Okay, I completely missed that before. So she's a colorless dragon, and I know at one point we were talking in the Discord server of like the leftover trace skills, the ones that aren't in the game yet, and someone brought up near trace, and we were thinking like what could possibly be the use for SR near trace, since it's lowering res, which would hardly ever be helpful. Well then I thought of Nifl. I was like, yeah, if they ever make a new Nifl, then they'll probably give her SR near trace, and here we are, she has it. She also keeps Domain of Ice, which is a really good C-slot skill. It's like drive, damage reduction. It's really, really good, of course. Attack speed, catch 4 is obviously really good. And Chilled Breath. So a special trigger. If unit initiates combat or is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants attack speed +6, neutralizes effects that guarantees foes follow-up attacks, and prevent units follow-up attacks, and also if unit speed greater than foe speed +5, foe cannot counterattack. So she gets the wind sweep effect. It's actually, I think it's a little different from her base form, because I think her base form inflicts the, I guess you could call it like the dazzling effect, where you can't counterattack, but I think she inflicts it after combat, so during combat you can still hit her. This is arguably more threatening, because I'm pretty sure as long as you kill Nifl during that combat, then she can't activate her dazzling debuff. This Nifl is like, it's going to be active regardless while she's fighting you, if she has 5 more speed. So pretty good. I guess the other Nifl is still better for for Pawns of Loki though. But I'm sure this one will be pretty good too. I had to comment on that. I am a Pawns of Loki tryhard. A pretty strong unit, good support capabilities, also just a strong combat unit. I foddered my only Nifl to Summer Mia for attack speed. Was it ARO attack speed? Okay, so this was a weird one. Summer Lyon is our 4-star focus, and I'm not thrilled about it. Nothing against Lyon. It's just, we already had him as a 4-star focus one time before, and I imagine his stats will be like kind of similar this time. Actually, we know for a fact they're similar. We actually know the stats already. So yeah, he has similar stats. I guess he's a different class. He's a sword now, but really not thrilled about another Lyon alt. I think we already had 3.5 if you include his duo with Ephraim. I don't know. I know Lyon has his fans, but this kind of reminds me of when they gave us another Ilyana alt out of nowhere, and everyone was like, wait, what? Why did we get another Ilyana when you could have given it to somebody else? I mean, anyway, his art looks fine. He looks cool. I'm glad he's here. I don't know. I would have preferred, personally, I would have preferred a different Sacred Stones character to get an alt on the banner. Let's see, who did I use in Sacred Stones? Who did I use in Sacred Stones? It's been a long time since I played it. Oh, Vanessa. Where's Vanessa? That's like the obvious one. There's also Cormag. He could have done Cormag. Anyway, his skills are not super duper notable. Attack defense ideal 3 is on Skahawk. Low attack defense 3 is new for a 4-star focus though, so that is pretty good. Coral Saber Plus, if unit initiates combat or is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants attack defense +5 to unit during combat, and unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack. So I was wrong, his base kit actually is pretty good. He gets an inheritable sword that has dual phase, guaranteed follow-up. It's actually pretty good. One of the better inheritable swords we've gotten, definitely. As for Lyon himself, he has high attack and high defensive stats, which I suppose makes sense for his perf, so there you go. He synergizes well with his other skills. Alright, then this happened. Frickin', I wasn't the only one. There were other people that were joking about the possibility of a summer, like specifically a summer Loki Thor duo, just because it's the kind of idea where like once it occurs to you, it's like, oh yeah, that's like decently likely, especially since we maybe not last year, but usually we do get FEOCs on the summer banners. Well, last year we got Freya in Plumeria, so there you go. Yeah, they really went all out with the fan service on this one. Once a year, it's like they just really lean in really hard to it. One year it was Legiarn, who's actually the same artist as these two. I think one year it was Byleth and Rhea, right? And then we have Plumeria and Sita, which was a weird one, but there we go. That's, there they are. When I saw them in the thumbnail, I was like, oh my god. This was predictable, but I'm still surprised to see them actually do it. It's pretty funny though. I actually like their voice lines together. It's like when they lean into the fan service like so hard that it's like part of the joke, I actually don't mind it as much. Does that make sense? Whatever. Divine OMZ. She's a flying blue tome, by the way. External special trigger, at start of turn, inflicts exposure and stall on foes on the enemy team with the lowest speed, and any foes within 2 spaces of those foes. And also, if unit is within 2 spaces of an ally, grant special cooldown count -1 to unit. Is that start of turn? Yeah, okay, that's still like at start of turn effect. So that's usually going to activate, right? At start of combat, if unit's HP is greater than 25, grants attack +6 to unit during combat, and inflicts attack -6. So borrowing a lot of effects from her base form. The attack +6 and attack -6, I think, is carried over. Exposure is a new status effect, and it makes it so that you basically receive +10 damage. I feel like that would have been a better way to word this status affliction, because people got the wrong idea thinking that it would like give them more damage, but no. So the idea is if you're inflicted with exposure, you take +10 damage on each attack, which definitely has potential just for breaking down really bulky armor units and such. Also, having another unit that can inflict stall, I think people will be interested in that. We already have Reeve, and Reeve is much more accessible, so I suppose it's not super necessary to have Thorr, but then people will want her for plenty of other reasons, along with her perf. She has Stillwater 4, which is slightly interesting because according to my double special hero forecast, it's actually decently likely that she'll be color sharing with Lilina in a November or December double special hero banner. So that'll be 2 units on blue with Stillwater 4. It's just kind of funny how that might work out. AR Far Trace, because of course every unit has to have Kanto, and she maintains World Breaker. Very strong unit. She's basically specialized to spam specials because she gets -1 trigger, so she's down to 3. At start of turn, she gets -1, so she's down to 2. And then when she attacks, she gets acceleration if she's within 2 spaces of an ally. I guess that effect in particular will be a little more difficult to activate, because if you're going out and initiating combat, it's less likely that you'll be within 2 spaces of an ally. But if you're warping, then it's more likely. I guess she'll be really strong as like an AR defense unit, perhaps. I could see that. Very strong unit. Oh god, I have to read more. Oh wait, this is short. Okay, we're good. Inflicts gravity on foes in cardinal directions of unit. Neutralizes any bonus active on foes within 5 rows or 5 columns. Does not neutralize stat bonuses or foes inflicted with panic. Okay, does not neutralize stat bonuses of foes inflicted with panic. Okay, don't overthink it. So, yeah. Pretty good. I mean, I think the best part of this duo skill is just the gravity affliction. I think... No, Hinoka had a similar effect, but that was... It was 3 columns and 3 rows, so I was thinking that might be better, but then Hinoka's only works on ranged units, so it's a little different. This is comparatively tame, just compared to other duo buttons, but I think in practice it'll be pretty helpful. You can inflict gravity. In summoner duels it'll be a little hard to pull off, just because it's kind of hard to line up your units exactly to be in cardinal directions of each other. Or of your foes, I should say. Personally, I would be interested in pulling for Eirika for the attack speed oath fodder, and I'd be interested in pulling for Thorr just because I think she's a strong unit. Otherwise, there's nothing really here for me. I won't be pulling on this just because I gotta save orbs for Micaiah, of course. And so we're doing this in retrospect, so I can actually look at a couple other things while I'm at it. We can look at our Tempest Trials unit, which is Seth. Seth, if I remember correctly, he had like good offensive stats, which people were disappointed about because they wanted him to have low speed because his weapon gives him an auto follow-up anyway. Personally, I think he's probably better off with the high speed, because then he can just use a different inheritable sword, right? And he has more options. Oh wait, he's an axe, isn't he? Okay, never mind. He can use different inheritable axes. I will say it's kind of dumb that they made him an axe cavalier when we've been getting so many like meta-defining axe cavaliers recently. Xander, Dimitri, Roy, Gustav. Yeah, they're all just really strong. It's a very saturated class. I guess if you're a fan of Seth, then you'll be happy, but there you go. I will say this is like the most prototypical seasonal banner in FEH that we've gotten in a while, because it's like 3 whale bait units that are all women. There's one guy who's the 4-star focus, and then the Tempest Trials unit is also a guy, and both of them have inheritable weapons that aren't very good. Oh yeah, that was one other thing, is like freaking Lyon. Compared to Claude, he obviously got shafted, but Claude was like a special case, I guess. I don't know why they went so hard with Claude. I think that's going to be it for the video. I thought maybe I'd go through the refines too, but I think this is getting a little long, so I'm going to end it there. If you have any thoughts on what I should do for the format of these videos, let me know. If you feel very strongly that I should do the live reaction still, then let me know. I would actually be interested in knowing. I think what might be a good idea is like do the live reaction, and then when I record the video, like include the live reaction, but then transition into like a post commentary section where I can break things down more deliberately. I don't know. Subscribe to the channel, please, for more FEH content. Follow me on Twitter for video updates. Join the Discord. That's actually most important, I would say, for keeping up with what's going on with me. We have a channel in the Discord where we discuss FEH. We'd be happy to have you. And that's going to be it for me. So I'll catch you guys later.